Hey there everyone. So today in this video I'm going to show you how you can automate web scraping on some live examples, and I'll be sharing some examples of how clients usually reach out to freelancers to actually automate this type of web scraping tasks with some real example. And to give some background about me is I am a Pro-verified and top-rated fiber seller working since 2017 in this field. And in this video, I'm going to show you an example of client requirements. And for the sake of privacy, I'm not going to disclose any information about the client, but I'm going to show a screenshot of what the requirements was offered by the client and how you will be able to approach in solving this type of web scraping process. So here you can see we have the client requirements, and as you can see, he wrote that, "Hi, I hope you are doing well, and I am attaching a document with a list of URLs that I wish to scrape." You will see that they vary in the number of records for each one, but the info from each site remains roughly the same. I wonder what price you would be able to quote to do this and an estimated time frame. So I'm not going to discuss about the cost or estimated time frame in this video, as it varies from person to person depending on their experience level, their approach of solving the problem, and whatever they are offering in their uh, quotation. So in this video, we are actually going to understand how to approach in developing such a web scraping solution, and how you will be able to develop something for this. So I'm going to open the Excel file that he has shared with me, and here you can see we have the Excel file, and he has outlined everything, such as the URL and the number of records that he expected to have, as well as the information that he wants me to extract from. So here you can see we have this information that has to be collected from the website. And as you can see, there are a lot of URLs, but I'm going to show just one for the demonstration purpose, and I'll try to explain the uh, technicalities or the approach, or you can say how I usually solve this type of requests. So basically, you can see we have a lot of different, but let's start with the first one. So I'm going to open a browser here. Let's say Firefox. So you can use any other ones. So I'm going to use the Firefox one and open this website to understand how it is designed and what we are expected to extract. So here you can see we have the website, and here you can see different information present in the website, and the client is basically looking for URL, name, job title, location, and so on. So here you can see we have the information in a paginated format. So first of all, you have to make sure that the website allows automating them. So we have to make sure that we don't break any terms of condition of the website to comply with their legal guidelines, because if you scrape a website that is actually not allowed to be scraped, this will be illegal. And in that case, if you provide such a service in a marketplace, you will be banned from the marketplace for breaking such a rule. So in order to find how the terms of service of a particular website uh, states this, all you have to do is look for either privacy policy or cookie policy, or you can also look for terms of service, uh, or it may be written as TOS. So let's start with privacy policy, and you have to search for bot or maybe web scraping. Let's say scrape, or let's search for robot, or this kind of keyword will be there if they actually do not permit you to automate their website. So in this case, I can see that there are no such policy present. So we can assume that they do not have any kind of rules or guidelines regarding this. So here we can see we have the legal page. So here you can see if we search for VOT, there is no such thing. So let's try to search for copy. So I think we are good to go about this. Okay, so you will notice something like this, where they may uh, state that they don't want their data to be scraped. So in this case, I would recommend that you do not offer this kind of web scraping service for those particular website. But in this one, it is a good one, and there is no such rules regarding this. So we are going to see what information we have present for uh, in terms of the requirements requested by the client. So here you can see we have the URL, we have the name, job title, location. So let's see if we see everything. So the URL, probably this profile URL. Then here we have the name, we have the job title. So I'm going to check name, should be something like this as the job title. Then the location should be, this one is the location. Then we have phone number, email. So we have the email, we have the phone number. Then LinkedIn, if available, he wrote. So we may have to click on the details page. Then here you will be able to see additional information. So probably you have to extract information if present, all other bio. So let's start by extracting a list of these information first, and then we will go inside of each of the profile details, and then we will be extracting the rest of the information. So let's start by creating a file here in the same folder. So let's name it scraper, for example, or anything that you prefer. So I'm going to import requests library, and there are many other libraries, but I usually prefer requests library for web scraping tasks, where it is actually efficient in terms of resource usage, as well as it is faster compared to any other browser based frameworks like Selenium. So at first you have to make sure that we actually see everything. So uh, I'm not sure if you are familiar with network log system. So let me show you how actually we can see a network log of a website, which is very important when you make request library based automation. So for this, I have to right click here, and then we click inspect, then go to network tab. So here you can see we have this network tab, and you have to make sure that you enable persist log, and in Google Chrome it is named as preserve logs. So this will ensure that any link that appears here is not removed, and if you click here it will be deleting everything from this network log. So I'm going to click on the pagination to understand if they use any internal APIs. So if I click here, you will see that it is making a search request here. So let me click here to see. Yes. So basically, they actually use an internal API, and we will be replicating the same thing that will help us get JSON-based response. So here you can see it is making a request with f equal to 20. So let me try again to see what the next page request looks like. So here you can see it is increasing the value by 20. So each website is designed in a different way. So you have to understand their HTTP request response cycle to plan your request, plan your web scraping automation system. So here you can see we have an internal API, and I would recommend that you study about how the API works, because if I have to explain everything here in depth, it will make the video longer. So I'm not going to go in depth of each of the concept or each of the terms that I speak about here. So I hope that you will be learning this additional information by searching in Google or by searching other YouTube videos to understand what each of the term means in case you don't understand anything. And here we are going to access the API using GET request, as it is a GET request made to the website, and you will eventually see how I do it. And so here you can see we make a request, but the F value, that is the parameter for moving between pages, changes 20 each time. So The initial one should be, I think, 0 according to their incremental value. So here you can see in the response tab, we actually see all the values. So there are 1000 total hits. So hit means records. And here you can see we have 0 and we have all the details of this person. So let's try to grab the information and display in the terminal so that you can see how they are actually collected. So first of all, I'm going to make a get request. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, now we are going to create a function in Python. And if you understand object-oriented programming, you can create a class, and then inside of this class, you can create a function, I mean method, and then you can easily do that. But to keep it simple for any newbie who is actually looking into this video to understand how web scraping works, I'm going to keep it simple as much as possible. So I'm going to create a function named def, let's say pgnh records. Okay, so inside of this we are going to make a get request, and I have created some http, I mean Python code snippet that helps me automatically enter this type of template. So you can actually do this in Visual Studio Code by going to, maybe I forgot where is it. Okay, I think I forgot that, but uh, let's look for, yeah, snippet. And here you will be able to see python.json, and here I have a lot of custom made snippets that I can use to trigger a particular keyword and then fill in the information. But you will still be able to generate this using AI if you want to. So either way it works, but I usually prefer using it via a snippet that I create in create already. So let's try to go back to where we were and stay focused with our main target, because uh, creating a snippet or any other area will actually be a different story to tell. So we are going to focus on how we are actually going to collect the script data from the website using their API. So I'm going to copy this, and here I'm going to paste this link. So here you can see we have the link ready, and this is the header information passed with the request to make sure that we mimic as a human or mimic as a real browser accessing the website. So we are going to make a guest request using this request library, and this is the header. And it let's access the text. But as we know that this is a JSON response, we are going to change this to JSON. So what will happen here is any JSON data will be returned and stored in this REST variable. So let's return if there is nothing found. So let me create a if name main block. So I'm not going to explain the basics of Python here, because I assume that you already understand how Python works and how to code basic programs in Python. Because the main requirements here would be to understand how Python works and how a HTML and CSS based website is actually created, and how you'll be able to extract the information. Also, I would expect you that you understand how API works and how HTTP request response cycle works, because if I were to explain all these details in this video, it will make the video longer than maybe an hour, but we don't want to do that here for this video. So I'm going to access and maybe let's display the response that is returned by the website so that you can understand how this actually works. So let's print the response. So if I run this, you will see we will have JSON response if everything works properly. So here you can see we have the JSON data that is actually returned by this website. So basically all this data is replicated in this terminal. So all we have to do is we have to paginate through the records. So we have to first make sure that we write page number equal to 0. Then we can use format specifier F. Then we change this value to page number, and then everything else remains the same. So here you can see we start with 0. So we are going to put it inside a while loop. While true is okay. Okay, so now we are inside the while loop, and here it is going to continuously run until we put a break condition. And let's increment this value page number by 20, because that is how they jump between different pagination, as you noticed. So here you can see, let's make this prettied so that we can actually see more details. So here you can see, at first we have to make sure that we get the data. So here you can see we have hits, then we have all, then we have hits. So let's try to access the data. So let's create a variable named let's say that results equal to rest dot get hit, then get all, then get let's check again, hits all hits, right? Yes, okay. So hits all hits, and Uh, also, I'm using Windsurf autocomplete. So this is why it is filling up additional information automatically. So you can try using Windsurf to use your AI assistant to help you with developing projects. So it is very useful in projects where there are a lot of code in the code base, and you want to speed up your whole project development, but you have to be careful about what it generates, because it may not generate what you are actually looking for. So here we have the results. So let's try to print a loop for result in results, and here our main target is to get the URL, right? So URL equal to result. So let's see what do we have here. So this is the URL parameter. So we are going to say results dot get URL. So let's try to print the URL for now to understand if it is working properly. And here I'm going to break this loop so that it runs just once. So let's run this, and you should see a list of URLs. So here you can see we have the URLs. And if you want to add the link to the website, you can do that by like this. And if you run it again, it should include the URL as well. So this is the full URL that we want to save. And now we have additional information like we need to get their position, for example. So job description alternatively. So here you can see their name. So let's get this name first. So last name. So that is inside of profile. Then okay. And for the first name, we have first, middle, last. And now we can say full name. So here you can see the Windsurf code assistant helps us to actually speed up by predicting the code that we want to write, and it helps us by uh, fixing different bugs if you have, and it is really helpful to speed up the development of a project. So here you can see we have all the details, and it seems to be fine, but in some of the cases, as you can see, we have none printed. So to solve this problem, you can simply just add a condition like if not middle name, then we make the full name as first name and last name, then otherwise the other way around. So here you can see we will have a complete name. So Michelle Marie Abad Arroyo. So if I go to the first page, we should see everything correctly. So let's go to the first page to understand. So here you can see we have additional name than what the website actually shows. So it is a good thing and useful in some of the cases to understand the full name of a person. So let's find out their designation. So most of the information are already present here. So it is very useful here. So let's look at the original page to compare properly. So always try to look at the original page as well as or the original response to understand how they are visually seen and how they are in the response of the API. So here you can see the first one is Abad Arayo. Sorry, maybe I was looking at the wrong one, or okay, maybe they actually have the last name printed, could be the case. But anyways, so here we are looking at their partner position. So let's see. So we have additional information such as their office phone, fax, and any other information. We have additional content data. So we can extract all those information from here. So let's find out, let's say that email. So email equal to result dot get email. Then print the email. Let's run it again to confirm if that is extracted. Yep, that is perfect. So this is how the data is extracted from the API. And if I disable this break, it will loop through the records, and we'll have to create a stop condition, which I'll be doing shortly. So let's find any other information that is present here. Also, there is another way you can actually find whatever information is present by actually searching for that particular word or half of the word. So to do this, we have this particular search icon. So if you click here, it will open a side menu. So here you will be able to search for partner, for example. So if you search partner and press enter, it will locate the data that we are actually looking for. So it is currently searching. So we are going to wait. And here you can see we have the partner. So let's try to find partner. I use Control F to use find in this one. So here you can see partner equal to partner appeared here, right? So it might be difficult to actually find this value. So what you can do is you can search for JSON curious concept, and there is a website that can help you uh, beautify your JSON data. So this is the website. So if you paste this and click on process, it will beautify and you will be able to easily see things. So use Control F to search for something. Let's say partner. So here we are going to search for the next one. Okay, so basically this is not showing here, but I think I saw it. So here you can see we have the name partner. So this is inside of the position. So I would also recommend to create Control C to copy, then create a JSON file here. Let's write it JSON and paste it here. And using this editor, you will also be able to search easily. And what is the useful part here is basically if you click here, when a file is saved, it will tell you how the hierarchy of this is designed. So for example, here you have heats all, heats zero, content, data, position, name. So we are already inside of heats, then we are actually looking for content data. So let's create position equal to results dot get. So content data, so that is content data dot get. So we are actually looking for this one, right? So content data position name is what we are after. So here you can see it can actually read this JSON or whatever you highlight, and it will also be able to actually predict and display the data. So let's try to print this to understand if this is correct. So you can see we have partner, we have associate, and whatever information we are actually looking for is present. So let me close this because we already have the code editor here to find out the hierarchy. So next would be to find New York. So let's try to find New York here. So go to the top, then search for New York. So here we have New York, and probably this is the value that is displayed here. So all you have to do is select the value. And let's try to understand how you can get additional details as well, because if I actually extract everything, it will make the video longer. And as this is the concept demonstration, and to help you understand how a web scraping is done automatically. So this is how it is done, and there are other ways to extract information when they do not have any API like this. So those will have a different approach to be followed. And let's try to open this one to actually collect additional information like capabilities, for example. So here you can see we have the main URL, right? So you can create a function, let's say def get profile details, for example. Here you can pass a link, then we can make an HTTP GET request here. So we can try to return. So here, let's try to understand how this is actually displayed. For example, we can get the phone number from the previous page, right? For example, from if you search for phone, here you can see we have different phone information about the person as well as their office phone number. So you can collect any information that you need, and this is how it can be done here. And to get additional details such as their overview, credentials, or anything else which you can see. So let's try to refresh this page again, or maybe right click to inspect first, then go to network tab, and then we can try to refresh this. So here we have information. So let's look if we can find out the capabilities. For example, we are going to use this search icon. So search for litigation, for example. Here you can see we found something. So this is a HTML based page. From here we are actually going to get the details. So let's check if we have education information like this. So if you search here by copying pasting, then you will be able to actually identify this particular value. So if you search this for here, you will see that we have this is we have this information as an HTML document. So this is where you will have to use the beautiful soap library, because this is the plain HTML page. So here I'm going to import the BS4. So this is a good example of a combination between API use cases and HTML based use cases. So at first we use internal API of the website to collect their initial data. Then we get the URL. Then we have to use get profile details using the same URL. And here we have to use the beautiful soap library. So I'm going to write soap equal to BS this, then HTML parser as the parser. There are many different parser available like LXML alternatively, but I usually prefer using the HTML.parser because it is built in into Python and it gets my job done. So this is how you will be able to create a soap instance, and here you can actually get the details using this. So how do we get the information? At first, in this kind of approach, basically you have to do inspect element but without the network tab, because now that we know all our information is present in this URL by doing whatever I have done previously. So now we have to understand how the HTML structure of this website has been designed. So how to do this? You have to click on right click anywhere, then click on inspect element. Then you will see something like this in the inspector, or maybe yeah, normally it is also written as element in Google Chrome or other browsers. So here you are inside of this inspector section, and here you can see different HTML. So all you have to do is right click anywhere, then click here to find out how they have been designed. So here you can see we have different elements. So to get the capabilities, you have to hover over your mouse cursor to find out their container. So in this case, we have to actually narrow down our elements, because in Beautiful Soap, we are actually indicating an element that has some unique information, such as it can have an ID, it can have a class that is unique, and it can have any other parameter that is only available to that particular element. And when we're scraping a data using the web Beautiful Soap, other than the API based approach, you have to understand how they have been designed, what unique idea or what unique characteristic it has, and how you can actually identify that element. So in order to do this, we have to find out the container. So let's try to understand the page here. Here we can see bio intro. So let's try to extract this information. So we have P class bio intro. So maybe we want to extract the bio. So let's say that a person bio. So dot find. This is a method of this soap object, and here our unique identifier is speed tag, and the class is bio intro. So for other cases it might be different, where you may have to look by ID or any other parameter. So this is a div, then it has a class named bio intro, right? So this is, sorry, this is not a div, this is the P. So paragraph element. Okay, so let's try to print this. So if person bio, that means if the element exists, we are going to print the text, and also try to strip the text because it may have uh, shorting or trailing uh, spaces in some of the cases. So if you strip everything when you extract the text, you will be able to see clean data. So let's try to print this. So here you can see we have the URL, and here, okay, I think it wasn't able to find the bio. So we can specifically call this function that we created instead of actually passing this like this. For example, this is our person that we are actually looking to access. So if I enter this, basically it is going to request to this particular URL other than paginating through the record, so that we can individually identify what is happening with our code, and we can also debug things. So here you can see we have the information perfectly collected. So let's try to understand what happened earlier. So maybe the previous one did not have proper URLs. Okay, so let's try to see. So no bio found. He does not have a bio. And here you can see this person has a bio. So basically this is how you will be able to extract the information. So let's try to validate if this is actually true. So let's try to open this link in a different tab, for example. So I think, yes, this person does not have a bio. Uh, the same way it has like this. So this is the reason why it actually did not have the information. So all you have to do is make sure that the element that you are picking always is unique and common towards common in different similar pages. For example, these are two profiles, but in this scenario you can see that this one has bio intro but this one does not. So you have to make sure that your target is decided. For example, type intro is more relevant, I can see, because it also contains type intro here. So let's change this to div, and like this. So if you use just one class that is unique, it should be perfect. So if I run this again, hopefully it should be working this time. So here you can see we have the correct information extracted and it is perfect. So this is how you have to identify unique characteristic by analyzing different similar pages. And this is how you will be able to extract information from different pages by following their network logs to understand how they actually display their content and how they actually uh, plan things. And based on that, you can either use their API or you can alternatively use uh, beautiful soap library to extract the information using their HTML structure. So the video got along a little longer than I expected, but this is how things are actually put together. So I'm going to end this video as this is how you actually will be able to collect other information by inspecting the elements and by extracting the required information by doing tests and by doing uh, analysis on the content that the website has. And that is how you can actually save the information into an Excel file as well. So I hope you understand how to save the information to an Excel file, which is pretty easy. For example, I have a snippet here. So you have to import the CSV library, you have to import the OS library, then create a function, pass a list, and then you have to create this. So I hope you can actually save the information using uh, codes, or if you know pandas library, it also allows you to save the data to xlsx or csv format. So I'm not showing how to do this in the video because it already became longer than usual. So I hope I was able to help you understand and um, help you feel how a web scraping automation project is done. And if you have any questions about this, or if you want any clarifications from me, you can write down in the comment section below. And I hope I was able to help you learn something new from the video. And if you are new in Python, or if you are completely a newbie in web scraping industry, you can actually take your time to understand Python first, then understand how HTML CSS works, and then try to understand how the API system works and how HTML CSS based pages are extracted with beautiful library. And these are the common ones that people usually use for web scraping tasks. And I think that's about it for the video, and I hope you enjoyed it so far. And thank you so much for watching this. And if you like the video, please hit a like button. And if you want to share this with your friends who may need to learn web scraping or is looking to create their career with web scraping industry, you are welcome to share the video with them. And I'll see you in the next one.